The new world, with all its power and might, steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old.
Henry, Charles, Albert, David. The Grand Gematria for that name in Hebrew is 11,778. Führer Hitler. The Grand Gematria in English for that name is also 11,778. The Grand Gematria for Hebrew has 8 different forms, which I will describe and explain in the following video. The Grand Gematria for English also has 8 different forms, which I have described in detail in my video Diana, Queen of Hearts. First of all, let us look at Standard Hebrew Gematria, or SHG. The order of letters is well established in Scripture with what is known as the acrostic psalms, such as Psalm 119. The numbering system means that numbers from 1 to 499 can be represented with increments of 1, 10, and 100 to successive letters, reaching the last and 22nd letter, Tav, which has a value of 400. The symbol for SHG looks like this, with the values of the first and last letters shown, which are Aleph and Tav, that have the values of 1 and 400 respectively. Let us now look at Ordinal Hebrew Gematria, which uses the standard Hebrew letters with place values only rather than numerical values. In other words, the 22 letters have been assigned numbers in accordance with their position in the alphabet. So the first letter, Aleph, has a value of 1 like it normally does. However, the last letter, Tav, only has a value of 22. The symbol for Ordinal Hebrew Gematria looks like this. The third and fourth Hebrew Gematria types are known as Final Form Gematria, since they utilize the 5 Hebrew letters that have an altered appearance when placed at the end of a word. These 5 letters are Kaf, Mem, Nun, Pei, and Sadi, which have the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th positions respectively after Tav. Using the numbering system for Standard Hebrew Gematria, a value of 999 can be achieved by using Final Form Sadi, Normal Sadi, and Tet. The acronym for Final Form Standard Hebrew Gematria is FFSHG and FFOHG for the ordinal version. The symbols look like this. The 5th and 6th Gematria systems are known as phonic Gematria because it is based on how the Hebrew letters sound in English and the corresponding Unicode spelling. This is distinct from acrophonic Gematria, which uses the Hebrew spelling of the letters in Hebrew and the corresponding Gematria values, whereas phonic Hebrew uses English numerical values both in standard and ordinal, since the letters are spelt with English letters. It should be noted that Unicode spells Aleph with a F instead of with a PH. The acronym for phonic Gematria is a rather unwieldy PHSEGUN, where UN stands for Unicode Name. The ordinal version could be shortened to Fogun, however I believe this is just as unwieldy, and phonic Gematria therefore the best nomenclature. Using standard phonic Gematria, Aleph has a value of 42, since A equals 1, L equals 30, E equals 5, and F equals 6, which, if added together, equals 42, whereas ordinal phonic Gematria, Aleph has a value of 24, since A equals 1, L equals 12, E equals 5, and F equals 6, which, if added together, equals 24. This is what the symbols look like. Acrophonic Gematria, as referred to in the last pair of Gematria types, gets its name from the word acrophony, which is the naming of letters of an alphabetic writing system so that a letter's name begins with the letter itself. Aleph is spelt with 3 letters, namely Aleph, Lamed, and Pei, which is actually pronounced as Fei in this situation, since it can be either a F or P sound. Using standard acrophonic Gematria, Aleph has a value of 111, since normal standard Aleph equals 1, Lamed equals 30, and Fei equals 80, which, if totaled together, equals 111. Using ordinal acrophonic Gematria, Aleph has a value of 30, since normal ordinal Aleph equals 1, Lamed equals 12, and Fei equals 17, which, if totaled together, equals 30. The symbol for acrophonic Gematria looks like this, with the standard type shown on the left and the ordinal version shown on the right. It should be noted that both of these are the last 2 Gematria systems in this series, which now totals 8 Gematria types. Here are the mini totals for each of the 8 English Gematria types for Führer Hitler. Take note that the resurrection number 8 is present in triplicate through the last Gematria type known as Base 6 English Gematria, the same value attained for the phrase 7th horn, using the same Gematria type. Also take note that Standard English Gematria and Standard English Gematria Binary both have a value of 841 for Führer Hitler, which is the same value shared by Prince Harry in Hebrew for final form Standard Hebrew Gematria. Further, 841 is the Gematria for the Greek words that are used to pronounce 666 using ancient standard Greek Gematria. Not only that, but 1841 is the Gematria in Greek for both Harry Spencer and the word Antichrist. Here are the mini totals for each of the 8 Hebrew Gematria types for Henry, Charles, Albert, David. Take note that Charles is spelt with an Aleph as the second letter and that there are no final form letters used, hence the same Gematria value can be seen for normal Gematria and final form Gematria using both numerical and ordinal forms. It should also be noted, like many numbers that are associated with Prince Harry, that 11,778 is divisible by 6, and which has the composite factor 1963. My summary is this: that Prince Harry will be the next Adolf Hitler.